Welcome to the Shifting Focus podcast. My name is John Bunn, and I am your host today. If you're a wedding filmmaker, this episode, I said it at the beginning, is almost like the all-star game. I feel like, the fact that I just got to interview these two different brands today together, it's kind of a dream come true. I was able to just now interview the guys, Josh and Jerad from CHPTRS. If you're a fan of good music, or if you've probably licensed their music, if you're a wedding filmmaker, incredible artist, incredible band, musicians, songwriters, vocalists. And I also had on Boomer with Multiply Sound, creator of the Flow Sound Pack. And they have come together to put a collaboration project together, a sound pack with Multiply Sound and CHPTRS. We talk all about that. We have some conversation around what this product is, but we also get into some of the things that they've done, like shifting their focus. And this episode will relate mainly to wedding filmmakers, but I think if you're tuning in and you're not a filmmaker, I think there's definitely some things here to kind of still hear from. But this episode to me is kind of like a bucket list, really cool thing that I got to do today. So without further ado, let's hop into this week's episode with CHPTRS and Boomer from Multiply Sound. Thank you guys for being here. This is an all-star lineup. I feel like I'm watching the Western Conference All-Stars game or something. We got on the mic, we've got Boomer Daddy Do is what it says.
Yes, sir.
Boomer, and then Josh and Jerad from the one and only CHPTRS. I did wear my CHPTRS garb today.
I love it.
Just out of respect. I wear it a lot to the gym. People look at me like, okay, that says CHPTRS. What is that? And then I talk to them about you guys. But
so good.
New podcast. It's called Shifting Focus. And so I asked Boomer, hey, are you interested coming on? He's like, hey, actually, I'm doing a project with some friends over in the music world, CHPTRS. And so I just wanted to have you guys on to chat real quick, hear from you. Everybody that's listening to this probably knows you, but Boomer, why don't we start with you? Just who are you? Where are you based? What do you kind of focus on? That sort of stuff. Just give the listener a little bit of insight on you.
Yeah, absolutely. I started off in music, actually, is what I started doing just as a kid. And basically my whole life has been music, and shifted focus to videography, and started learning kind of the ins and outs of storytelling. And that came extremely easy to me because I understood music. That was basically my background. And then kind of on a weird whim of distress and frustration towards the videography world and music licensing and not having enough control over the music in my films, I created a product that I didn't think was going to work, that I thought nobody would get or understand, but I just created it for me. And it was essentially just the film score blueprint, tonal sound effects in all 12 keys. And and then it just kind of took off from there. Did volume 1, volume 2, and here we are, about to release the CHPTRS film score collection. Super stoked.
Very stoked for you. Yeah, I've had the opportunity to hang out with Boomer in real life a few times. He is more handsome in real life than even on screen, which kind of blew me away.
And quite a bit really tall. Am I right?
Yeah. And that's the second one. He's like about 7 inches taller than I thought he was in real life.
I was not expecting that.
I didn't expect to look up a little bit to him. I'm kind of tall, and I didn't feel tall around him. So, but yeah, that was a good time getting to hang out with Boomer. We've hung out a few times together now, and you've been on the podcast before and become a good friend and somebody I look up to, and confidant. We call each other from time to time, check in, see what to do about things are going on in our business. And anyway, you've been a huge blessing to us. Then on the other side of the screen, we've got Josh and Jerad. I'll let you guys kind of say who you are. If you're in the wedding video industry, you probably know these guys, but we're now kind of expanding to photo and other parts of the wedding industry. So give us a little story on who the two of you are. Let's start with Josh.
Jerad and I met in Southern California working on projects that we kind of got dragged into a little bit. he'd be producing a project and he would need someone to come help with vocals and mixing and editing, and he'd pull me in, and I needed production help on some stuff and I'd pull him in. And we at some point, I think it was Jerry, maybe 2013, it kind of dawned on me, like, why are we working on people's music that we have to do so much work on? What if we actually just wrote together, So we got together we rented out a studio for one day and wrote 3 songs, like 3 ideas, just came so fast. I was like, oh, this is so easy. But that's actually the only time we've ever been in the room together writing. Everything else has been over Dropbox. So all these years of putting out music, we've just been a Dropbox band. But yeah, we started working on a bunch of music and sending files back and forth to kind of, I don't know, outdo each other, make each other surprised, And after a while, it was like, oh, this could be chapter 1,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the rest is history.
Jerad, kind of what's your role been? What's life look like for you as the other half of chapters right now?
Working with Josh is mind games. It's pretty rough, as you could imagine. If you know him, he's a tough guy get to be around. No, it's awesome. Josh is super, super skilled lyricist, singer, multi-instrumentalist, producer, and mixer. It's kind of crazy. I do a lot of the arranging. We kind of flip-flop songwriting stuff. I'll send him a song idea and he's like, oh, I know what to do with that. And he'll take it, or he'll have a song idea. And then I spend a week just building out a track or whatever. It's always kind of been that way. So we're both producers, we're both multi-instrumentalists, and best idea wins. It's just that kind of collaborative spirit. He's out in Nashville now, and I'm still out in Southern California. So he'll come out here, or I go out there maybe every other month or something. We'll work over the internet to mix and all of that. But it's just, it's been a really great, rewarding collaboration. It's one of those things where first time we sat down together to work, we're kind of finishing each other's sentences and on the same wavelength. And so if you've ever worked with somebody like that, it's rare, and you want to, take advantage of that, stick with that. So we just got that partnership. And now we've kind of got that with Boomer as well.
Yeah.
Been fun.
And so for those listening, Boomer with the film score sound pack kind of revolutionized, by the time when he started putting out these sounds and tonal, like all these different packs, a lot of people were putting out more just whooshes and sound effects and glass breaks and, that kind of stuff's cool. I'm not saying there's not a place for that, but like he took a level of music, like his knowledge in music and producing and different things like that, and said, no. We need to create these in all 12 keys. We need to have swells. We need to have like all these different instruments and hits and different things. And it kind of just changed the wedding filmmaking industry. It was a product that was like, oh my goodness, if you learn just a little bit about how these keys work and how they work with each other, you can turn any song into the right fit for your film, or you can make it more dramatic. You can make it more whatever it is. You could just take a song that you found and then say, I'm going to make this mine, kind of like with color grading, you could have a different LUT or preset. It's like, I'm shooting this in RAW. Now I can make it look and feel like the brand of John Bunn. And that is what I found with, like, when I started getting into some of these edits with the film score, just like, man, I really wish this song had 10 more seconds to warm up to this song starting, or, I wish that right here it like swelled just a little bit more. Be really great to have some strings right here. And when you start to dig into those layers and see what Boomer created, it's no doubt why it's been so successful. And so for the industry, thanks. But secondly, like this is obviously something you made for you get going in it. And now this has become like more of the main thing that you do, right? I mean, how's that been for you, Boomer?
It's been really surprising, and I am so thankful for everything that the wedding videography world gave me. I'm no longer shooting weddings anymore. Shot my last wedding in December of 24. And who knows? Maybe I'll come back. I always still love telling stories, and I will always be a storyteller and filmmaker. But man, I think it hit on a deep human level instinct that I didn't see when I was creating this, but now I see it today, of humans have music in them. This is a deeply spiritual and deeply powerful and neurological, emotional tool that is music and sound. And I think I was tapping into the fact that we all have musical instinct in us since the beginning of time. And we all want to have that control and customization, and we all want to be these composers and creators of music. In society has told us that there are the musicians and there are the consumers and listeners, and those are two different people, and they can't be the same. You either create music or you don't. You're either a contributor to music or you listen to music. And I'm saying, no, we are all contributors. We all have a unique melody. We all have a unique frequency about us that's different. And so I got frustrated because all of us videographers are using all the same songs, and these songs are great, but man, we want a little bit more customization to these films. And so this product isn't just a product. It's just like building blocks. It's Legos. Hey, how can I customize the music in my films even more so that is my unique story?
And I want to dig on that just for another second, just because like the idea of this podcast, shifting focus, is like really leaning into the things that make you, the creator that you are, the person you are. And, being around you in real life, I mean, it was creativity. You're just like, you can see, you see a world through a different perspective than most. So you and your wife are just like very, very creative humans. And the world would have told you, dude, you're making great wedding films. Like, you're making good money. What was the risk? What was you shifted focus in your brand. You decided, hey, I'm going to go for this. What did that take for you to be able to make that happen?
Man, it was scary as hell. It was scary. There was a lot of fear. I moved my entire life out to Oregon on the coast. I probably said no to over 100 weddings, and society would say that's good, stable income. You're good at them, why don't you just keep going? But man, when the heart tugs, it tugs really hard. At least I've learned to listen to that voice. The voice is usually insanely quiet. It's like, it's barely a whisper, but when it whispers, it's like, it's loud in a way. And so, yeah, choosing to shift focus into something that you truly love is probably the scariest thing you can ever do. It is not a cushy type of life at all. There's so much instability, so much risk involved, and but I mean, God, it's so cliche, but you really only have like one shot at this thing called life. And so I would rather live that type of life than mediocrity or not listening to what is calling.
That's great. Yeah, I love that. Dude. Josh, I saw you nod your head over there. How's that hit you? How's that relate to you in the chapter story?
Well, we have this interesting thing with chapters where a lot of the people that we have come to know are filmmakers. And so relationally, we've just kind of established friendships with all these filmmakers. And so when we started asking, hey, how do you guys use our music? It's so fascinating to me, because yeah, some people will just use a song, but to see how other people will creatively take a verse, instrumental, loop a section of it, take the bridge and like where it builds and then put that in there. And so they're kind of taking our songs and using building blocks and kind of creating these moments with our songs. Some artists hate that. Jerad and I love it. It's like, especially as the lyricist, knowing what those songs are about, to see them given a whole new life is like, it's such a gift for me. So I think stepping into something new for us was like, we saw the opportunity, I don't know, maybe 2 years ago, in talking to filmmakers, just going like, what do you guys need? How do you use our stuff? And to see that there was a need there for just longer, for lack of better words, a bed of music, that filmmakers can use and play with, and then go into a licensed song or something. It really started getting our heads spinning. And and then we actually saw Boomer put one out, and we were like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what we've been working on. We have this Dropbox folder filled with ideas, and then to see him do it at first was like, oh, come on, dang it, but it was done so well and just masterfully with the marketing and the sounds, and like he just does everything 100%, and we saw that. And Jerad and I were talking like, we need to know this guy. We just need to be friends with this guy, and see what we can create together.
Yeah. So Jerad,
and take a risk, because it's a lot of time. It's a lot of effort. And we're right in the middle of chapter 9. Like, we've been doing this for 9 years, 10 years. And, we're right in the middle of a big project, and we're like, nah, we should pause this and do something special.
That's so cool. But so Jerad, as somebody that does a lot of the arranging and different things like that, Josh mentioned just the level of quality of even the sound packs that you've seen. When you came across Boomer, the sound packs, as your role, what did you see in it? Like, because a lot of people have tried to create things or whatever that it feels like a money grab, and it feels like, oh, this is just, I'm trying to sell stuff. It was different from my perspective, but I'm not a producer. I'm not a sound engineer. What was your thoughts whenever you and Josh were talking about, we need to know this guy?
Yeah, that was our experience. I had a conversation, like Josh had said, we've been dreaming up for probably at least 2 years, talking about this need that we're seeing with our filmmaker friends, where there's this gap. They're licensing great songs. They have great songs, but then they're needing to do music in-house, and the transitions between them or customizations is not quite there. And we were dreaming that up. And somebody, a filmmaker, had talked to me and said, hey, I'm using this stuff from Multiply Sound. I don't know if you've heard it, but you guys should do something like that. And I was like, yeah, we've been, so who is this? And I checked his stuff out and immediately vibed. It just seemed like we're on the same track. Like, we're thinking the same thing. But what he's so unique and good at is, I think, his tonal effects concept, not just like airy whooshes and stuff, but these tonal effects, and then his intentionality with the education side.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of filmmakers out there that have a lot of musical taste, but not a lot of music theory and understanding, as a musician or whatever, which I totally get. And we need to help these people. And Boomer is figuring out a language. That's his blueprint, is this language to be able to tell them exactly how to build this stuff. And I think with this collection, we've figured out a language, a way for them to have these drag and drop pieces, and a very clear, concise way that they can do, a lot of different things to match whatever they're doing. Like we talked about, all 12 keys. We've got textures, we've got transition pieces, we've got melodic stuff, we've got, beautiful cello and all of that we're really thinking this is going to be bread and butter for filmmakers. And part of the problem too is we just don't want them having to, dig through so many samples that are out there. There's a ton of like musical musician instruments out there for people that know how to make music. And then there's tons and tons and tons of samples. But now it's actually harder with the oversaturation of all the, you got to sift through 1 billion samples to try to find the one thing that would be good.
Yeah.
What if somebody could just build a group of sounds that I know is going to work with the film that I'm making, the songs that I'm making, and give me a simple, concise way that's human made, and that's kind of what we've done. And so hopefully that connects and makes sense to people. I think it will, because of what Boomer's doing with it.
Wedding filmmakers, do you know that sinking feeling when your inbox is full and your to-do list looks more like a novel? That's where my friends at Limly come in. This CRM, designed by videographers for videographers, lets you send and receive contracts, deliver films, manage projects, invoices, and questionnaires, all in one slick, intuitive platform. It even automates your project workflow from import to export so you stay on top of deadlines without lifting a finger. Stop wasting your time on tasks you can automate and focus on making more money. And as a bonus, I've got a 25% off code in the show notes below. Head there now and streamline your whole business. Limly, get back to creating, not admin. I'm a huge fan of the book Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. And one of the big, obviously, points is like you're the only person in the history of the world that has your knowledge, your experience, your connections, your worldview in the time of the Earth's existence. You're that unique person. And Bill Gates couldn't have been Bill Gates if he was born 5 years later, or wasn't located in the Pacific Northwest, or didn't have access to computers. All these different things had to line up. And I think about just the idea of, I know Boomer is a risk taker. He's willing to go all in. And when he's doing something, he's doing it with his whole heart, and when he was doing wedding films, it was like, dude, he was figuring out, he would always say, I don't know everything about filming. I don't know. I know music. I'm a musician, but I love making these films right now. And what I think it did was created this outlier in Boomer, somebody that was at the top of the wedding film industry. And I mean, still regarded as one of the top, just came in out of nowhere and was like, who is this guy? They're making crazy films. He's incredible at marketing. He understands. So he learned the ins and outs of the wedding filmmaking world specifically and does a lot of commercial stuff, but then also produces music and understands the language. And he's almost been like a translator between the wedding filmmakers or the filmmakers and the musicians. And like whenever he started talking to me about some of these, like this key goes with this one and this minor goes, I'm like, what are you? Here's this chart. I'm like, dude, you're dork level 1000. But like he made it in such a way where it's like, oh, this is really easy and it makes sense. Like this song is in this key, these songs, like these tones will go with it, and these songs can help. It's like it's made everyone that is paying attention to this, like their films. The bride and the groom might not be like, well, this film, I can tell that the key change between songs is good or anything like that. But like you're able to create more meaningful work, which then in turn, creativity is better, all that, and so it's been interesting to watch the translator in Boomer translate what he knows about the music world, and just with a little bit of practice that I've had doing it, my film's obviously so much better because of it. And so Boomer, I want to talk back to you for a second. You've done some of these sound packs. You've had major success. Lots and lots of people are getting them. What's the story? Just the guys from chapters all of a sudden reach out to you, kind of like, what does that day look like? And kind of, what does it look like from that to the actual recording, these new sounds?
Yeah. I mean, being a wedding filmmaker, I was very familiar with chapters, and I had used, their songs, and just was basically just a fan. Great songwriting, great musicality. You could tell they were composers. They had that human element, and they're just masters at their craft. And so when they reached out, I was like, man, this is a cool opportunity. I just got to get on the phone with them. And that first initial meeting was we were all vibing. We were all on the same page. Yeah. We're all speaking the same language. But it wasn't honestly until getting into the studio with them that my mind was like blown from their sheer like professionalism and just creativity. I've been a musician my whole life, and it was an honor and a privilege to be in the studio with them and see how they work and hear all their ideas. And I'm telling you, I don't think people realize this, and I will scream this from the rooftops for this entire collection. The amount of just intentionality of these sounds, every single sound is uniquely played. It's not a copy and paste or pitch up or pitch down. Like it is uniquely performed, every single sound. And it's just like so human. It's so refreshing to hear something truly human, because I mean the rise of artificial intelligence is real, and it's just a breath of fresh air hearing these sounds and hearing the Foley and the textures and the melodies and progressions. It was like, holy shit, this is crazy. Like these guys are good. These guys are good. They know what they're doing. They have their 10,000 hours plus, and this is a perfect partnership, you know? Because I am a jack of all trades. Like I'm good at a lot of things. I don't think I'm great at any one thing, and so it was amazing to like get in the room with people who are like really, really, really dialed into their craft, and they've been diligent, you know, at dialing in their ears. Their ears are crazy, and to be like, okay, all right, this is gonna be the easiest sell ever, you know. Like I barely have to sell this thing. Like the sounds speak for themselves.
That's awesome. Good Lord, thank you.
Can I add one thing?
Go for it.
Yeah, thank you. There are a lot of kind of hybrid trailer sounds out there. A lot of trailer, you know, sort of industrial and modern and all of this. And so part of the hope was that we'd be able to create something that's organic, that's cinematic, but also, you know, has an acoustic feel, a human feel, and kind of that indie folk thing. I think there's a lot of filmmakers out there that are using those kind of songs, but they don't have the elements and pieces to customize. It's like putting in some massive industrial over the top, you know, hit with an acoustic guitar song is just not going to work. That's what we're leaning into, is all human sounds. Very, some of that Foley of the forest around the studio and all that. I think we did it.
So tell me, like, as a person that has been anticipating this, as a person that's going to use it, I've had the opportunity to check into it a little bit, but I don't want to like ruin it for you guys. What for somebody that is out there listening and saying like, what is this? How does it work? Like obviously, you know, we've talked a little bit about it, but maybe I don't know, Josh, if you were trying to explain what this product is outside of the quality of the sounds, like, you know, we're talking about that, but like, what can you do with this? Like, what is the intention behind this? What are you thinking, like, whenever you're explaining this to somebody, like what they can and should be able to do with something like this? Because I see it, I'm freaking excited as all get out, but like, I don't want to butcher how to explain it.
I think all three of us would probably have slightly different answers, which is fun. I think what's exciting to me as someone on the other side of it who provides the licensed song, this is groundwork. These are building blocks. These are layers that you can bring in, and instantly one layer is already like, okay, this is a vibe. So now let's go to the second folder. Let's bring in a sound. Okay, this is a vibe. Let's try guitar. Let's try piano. Okay, this is its own thing. Now you've like, just with dragging in 2 layers, you've already created 2 minutes worth of music that already works. Like immediately as a songwriter, I've written songs, like 5 or 6 song chorus ideas, just in like, as we're working on this stuff. It's inspiring because it's just quick. You're not sitting there going, is this sound and this sound, this sound? Like you just bring something in and it automatically works. Okay, so now you've got a chord structure and you've got, you know, a texture behind it. Now let's bring in some improvs. Let's try some cello improvs. Like, that's a little much. Let's bring in some vocal improvs. Like, ooh, that's totally different. everything, just like all these different combinations of what you can bring in, they kind of create a different vibe. So if I have a licensed song, I'm saying this as someone who's not a filmmaker, but I can imagine, if I have a song that I'm trying to transition in and out of, now I have all these very simplified building blocks to put before and after it. And then you get into some transitions and some risers and booms and that sort of thing. But mainly just the idea of, instead of having to take an instrumental and cut it up, you can build your own instrumental really quickly.
Yeah. And, the starting point for it is textures. And so we have all these textures, and we recorded all of them for a minute and a half. These are all unique performances and combinations of sound. I think what we've done is taken out a lot of the heavy lifting without eliminating the ability to have choice. And so we're giving you living, breathing recordings that you can then create your own things with. But these textures are a minute and a half long. We've got a stinger at the end already built in for you if you want to use that. And then we have lead instruments, like we've got cello, we've got piano, we've got Josh's vocals. We have a bunch of it's kind of hard to explain, but you'll know when you start playing with it. We have short phrases that you can use and mix and match and move around as much as you want. It's really easy to drag and drop in. We also have some capabilities for instruments like piano, guitars, where there's chord progressions. So if you had, say, a minute of space between one song and another song, you could have a texture and a chord progression on one of those instruments. Butter. Maybe a little bit of cello doing some leads every once in a while. It's all verbed out and feeling really good. You could stack those up, and you've got a nice transition into your next song. So that's the point. And then we do have some drums and effects and things for pushes and emphasis points, but that's the heart of it, really.
Love that. And then Boomer, what about you? What is your take? I mean, you've done this. This is your third volume, right? 3?
Yeah.
I use all of them so often. It's just become part of my workflow. I mean, whenever I heard you guys were adding chapters, like, oh, well, I can't wait to, just the way that Josh's vocals, I mean, just throw that in, let's go. Let's put some cello in there. There's
buttery.
Those, I can try if you want to sing some of these, higher falsetto.
Yes.
I can give you some of my, but just the idea of that being able to, transition and move in and out between a song and just be able to, it unlocks this creativity like a box of Lego that you're just I could build anything with this. So anyway, Boomer, what are your thoughts to add to this?
Every time I create a new collection, it's just I get more and more confident of what I believe filmmakers need and are wanting and solving the problem of how to create a cohesive story together. You're not just throwing the visuals and all the time and energy that you put into filming those visuals. Okay, here's one song, here's another song, here's a third song. Now you are a musical storyteller with this product. You are telling a cohesive musical story through dynamics and pauses and silence, and you're using the power of music to your advantage to make somebody feel a certain way. And first collection kind of made out of hesitation, I don't know if this is gonna work. Second collection, I'm like, okay, now I know what I'm doing. This collection, the chapters collection, is doubling down. I would say, especially on quality, on language and education, and the blueprint, adding to the blueprint. There's a new level of confidence, I think, with this collection of all three of those things, and some new ideas too. Adding to the blueprint is so fun. We have this folder called chord progressions. Oh my gosh, you guys, I haven't even told you the amount of reactions that I have gotten from that folder is ridiculous. I'm so glad. That was kind of a last minute decision that we were doing that folder. I just have so many ideas for how to expand on that folder, and it's just it's simply putting emotional kind of chords together God, how do I even explain this? I'm so new at this. This whole idea came up like a week ago, but a lot more to come in that we're just adding to this thing, and the confidence level goes up, and the reactions from filmmakers are ridiculous already.
Had the opportunity to work a little bit with Josh and Jerad, see them, just with some podcasts and some chats and some conversations over the years now, and like know how much they put into the work, and I think that there's, there's a lot of chit chat out there, like, the easy button is using a chapter song. It works for a reason because it's so good. And it just becomes, it's like, hey, you can't use the cheat code on every wedding film, like where I keep coming back. It's like, oh, well, chapter 7 is out. Chapter like this is great. And like my wife, it's a funny story. My wife, whenever she walked in here editing one time, she was like, is that chapters? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, I listen to them all the time on Spotify. They're amazing. I was like, yeah, I'm friends with them. And she's like, no, you're not.
But like the shirt, check out the shirt,
babe. Yeah. This is the thing. No, but like just knowing the history and the bands that you guys have been in before, and all the effort and the outlier things that this is no joke. Like, you guys are successful for a reason, and I get to see a little bit behind the curtain of what you guys have been able to pull off. And then knowing Boomer on a little bit more personal level, and just seeing him take the leap of faith and having, these audacious moves that they've been making, and, moving to Oregon and taking these risks, and living life to the fullest, like all these things just wrapped up into one beautiful thing that you guys are creating. I couldn't run to my phone quick enough whenever Boomer was saying, I think I'm going to do something with chapters, to be like, chapters guys, hey, you got to do this with Boomer. He's amazing. And Boomer, you got it. And just watching all that happen.
Yep.
Are you taking credit for this whole?
Yeah,
no, I'm just kidding.
I think he is. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I get a 40% stake is what I, that's generous, but
how about you get
no.
a new shirt?
I will take it. I'll take a vinyl.
There you go.
I will buy a vinyl. But no.
Wait, actually, a shirt is coming to you.
You gave me
like that's real.
I appreciate that. I'll wear it. I will wear it on launch day. So tell me, so what is, like, you guys have done the product is done. What does the launch feel like, look like, all that kind of stuff for you guys? Because it's almost like a new album coming out, almost like a new sound pack coming out, almost like, Taylor Swift is just announcing she's got a new album. Are you worried about doing this at the same time?
Very worried.
What's the process look like? Yeah, for you guys, how can this audience support this product the most? Just give me when and how you guys are planning on doing all this, getting it out there into the world.
Yeah, this is obviously for filmmakers, but I do want to say there have been, we've been giving away some free sounds already. Just getting talk going and the feelers out there. And there've been a lot of musicians that have reached out and said that they've been using it and been inspired by it as well. So I think there's all kinds of filmmakers and all kinds of creators of all different kinds that this is going to be cool for. But August 26th is the date. Boomer can talk more about the launch, but yeah, it's really exciting for us.
Hit me with it, Boomer, because the 26th is a Tuesday, right?
And man, it's going to be crazy. My to-do list is wild. So, this isn't just a product. This is education too. I would say we're selling confidence, this is, we're going to set you up for success. And I get this is like a new type of way of thinking, and thinking about being a composer as a videographer. I get that it can be kind of discombobulated or not completely understand it. The uphill battle that I have been fighting, that I love, is the education behind these products. And so we're not going to leave you out to dry. I'm creating a 4-part module series of a course that will come with this, showing you how to use this entire product to the fullest capabilities. And it'll go over why we created this, why music is even important, why should you even care about this, because this is going to be an investment not only in, financially, but your time and energy. There might be a learning curve if you don't know music completely. And so we want you to have a strong why behind the power of music, and then going into the actual film score blueprint and basic music theory, and then going into music licensing integration, and then the fourth module being more of creating music, from scratch. Like, what capabilities can you actually do? And this actually might be a cool topic to talk about, the Made by Chapters folder, of how you guys are also practicing what you are preaching by creating. Well, I'll let you actually talk about it, you guys. This is cool. They came up with this.
Josh?
You got it, dude.
Yeah, we've got this folder Made by Chapters, and basically we've taken a few of these different sounds and put together these short musical pieces, short songs. Basically, we're giving you already mixed and mastered, kind of finished pieces to show you how to do it, but also if you need something just right now, you can do that as well. So we've got, I think, 4 or 5 of those already, and it's just been so fun being able to build those things. And it's layers of texture, bass and chord progressions using piano, guitars, that kind of stuff, and then some melody stuff over top. But then we kind of put our sauce on it. We mixed it and put it all together and glued it and everything. But I mean, that education piece is huge. We don't want. Well, here's the deal. This product, I think we believe that this is something pretty new and revolutionary, and is taking all of us into the future with something. I think it's a very unique perspective, and we don't want to leave you hanging. So Boomer's got this education stuff to really show you how to maximize, because what's really exciting to us is I think we have an opportunity for creatives to step up their game in a significant way, and to start to charge more, to do quality. Obviously, we see incredible visuals. Their cameras are dialed in. The lighting is phenomenal. The shots are great. The licensed songs are huge and killer. And then there's transition points with audio that's just not quite there. They have the ear and the taste, but they don't quite know how to do it. And so where something might seem kind of hazy, like I'm not totally sure how to use this stuff or how to make it happen, Boomers bringing all that clarity. So the education stuff isn't exhaustive. It's pretty to the point, but it's going to really change the way that people are doing their work.
It's incredible. Okay, so as this episode comes out, if you're listening on the day of, tomorrow is when the pack launches. I'll put in the show notes, of course, where to find it, all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah, you can find the Chapters Film Score Collection releasing tomorrow, and it is going to be, you can find it on multiplysound.com. And what I was thinking too is getting like just an exclusive discount code for all your listeners, like a shifting focus discount code.
And we'll throw a link as well as the promo code in the show notes. Any as we wrap up here, guys, any final little thoughts? I know that I think we all like talking, so we could all go for a long time, but any final thoughts from you all before we sign off for today?
I mean, just thankful for both of you guys and your place in your industries and how you do it with such excellence. And over the years, like, it's been so fun to work together and see how you use our stuff. So first of all, thank you. And then, yeah, we're just so excited to try something different. And this is a huge step in that direction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. John, I just want to give you your flowers for a second. I think you saw something in me that, maybe I didn't even see myself, or was really early back in 2021. And I just remember going on your podcast for the first time and plugging the Flow SF pack and, getting to talk to you. And it's just crazy how we've both grown. And I'm just so thankful for you and your place in my life, and yet another podcast.
Yeah. Well, hey man, you just hit me right in my chapters. In my no, what an exciting thing. And I shout you guys from the rooftops, all three of you and your brands and what you're doing. And, I love doing work with people that are passionate about what they're doing. They're focused on things that matter to them. And that's kind of what I like to leave people with is like, what are you focusing on in your life? What are you doing? Are you, whether or not you're a filmmaker or not, hopefully this was inspiring just to kind of lean into the things that you feel like deep in your soul that you should be doing. And what happens when you take those steps is stuff like this. And I can only imagine that the
Love
three of
that.
you are very creatively fulfilled in this moment. And, it's like, obviously it will be successful. But to me, the main thing that I'm looking at as I get into my 40s is like, do I feel like it was a success to my soul of something I knew I needed to create? Everything else seems to work itself out. And so thank you guys for taking the time to be on. I appreciate all three of you.
Yeah, man.
Thanks, bro.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Thank you, John.
We podcasted. We podcasted. Yeah.
Podcast
We
is so
did it.
hard right now.
We did it so hard. There you have it. The episode with Boomer and Chapters is in the books. We podcasted. We did the thing. Thank you guys so much for being on. As we mentioned in the episode, the link for a discount as well as the sound pack would be in the show notes, and we're going to be posting about it on our social media this week and stuff. And if you're a filmmaker and you support me and what I'm doing, go grab that pack. Support them. They've poured a ton of time and effort into this, the education side of it, and then the actual sounds I've been able to listen to, and it's like nothing that you've seen or heard before. So support them, grab that sound pack today, and thank you so much for tuning in. Again, thank you so much to all of our sponsors as well. Before I head out today, I do want to point you towards the outsourcing link on my website, john-bunn.com/outsourcing. Got a list of outsourcing vendors that you can check out that outsource wedding films. Honestly, saved my life a lot. We've got people on there like Wanderlust Media, brideandgroom.video, Story Mix Media, that are there for every price point, every quality level. So if you need to outsource some of your work, definitely check out john-bunn.com/outsourcing. It's in the show notes as well. That's all I have for today. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Wedding filmmakers, do you know the feeling? You've got a mountain of footage and backlog that just won't quit. That's where Wanderlust Videos comes in. Their team can handle it all, from import to export, and my favorite part, they nail my style and color grading every single time. It's like having an extension of my own creative brain. Head to john-bunn.com or check the show notes for 10% off your first order. Wanderlust Videos. Stop drowning in edits and let them take your films to the next level.